All right, folks, I think I'll seek to make a start. Let's see if we could get going. For those of us who grew up going to horse races and so on, we are in the home stretch. This is the last afternoon of our 3 days, and I think the 3 days have been pretty well spent. And the last major activity, not the last major activity, but the first activity on this final afternoon is a workshop session. We talked about toolkits and we talked about national IGFs and so on. And this is where we review what we have and we get your feedback in workshop on a Caribbean toolkit for fostering national multi-stakeholder fora. Last year in Belize, at the 12th CIGF, we did have workshops on this, exactly this. In fact, the theme of the 12th CIGF last year was about developing national IGFs. And one of the workshops in particular dealt with trying to come up with guidelines for us in the Caribbean here as to how to go about setting one up. During that time and after that time, I had also collaborated with the UN IGF's mailing list of national coordinators of IGF. So we are a regional IGF. I was a part of what they call the NRI coordinator group. And that group was working on a similar thing, a toolkit for developing national and regional IGFs around the world. And that group eventually produced a document which is listed on our event website for this event as the UN IGF's toolkit for NRIs. And that is one of the things. That is one of the documents for this meeting. That is one of the documents for this workshop session, which I pointed out yesterday that was part of your homework. So what we'll be seeking to do is to use that document as well as the outputs of the 12th CIGF, our own group work at the 12th CIGF, to see what might be appropriate for us to use as a toolkit for the Caribbean. I have a short introduction to it that I'd want to go through now before we actually get into the specific group work. Yeah. All right, so our objective really is to develop a toolkit for national IGFs in the Caribbean. And how are we going to progress that? We have two main documents that we will be looking at in this